What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first ever episode of Shot Takes. All right, a show about the hot takes in sports that are kind of shot, including some of my own. Uh, Shot Takes is part of Tats, Tats, and Stats. You're gonna forgive me. I'm got to get reused to which side I have to point to for what logo. Um, for those of you who know, this is going to be exclusively on the SportsHost app. First and foremost, I'm going to address the elephant on my face. Yes, I had to shave for work, so I apologize for this hideous, grotesque look I have going on. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, the glorious beard will be back. Until then, unfortunately, something close to this ridiculousness is going to have to fly. So, first things first, Hats, Tats, and Stats, including Shot Takes, is part of the BICBP. Nope, that one. BICBP Radio Network. And we are sponsored by, there we go, Stinger Sports. Stinger Sports is the greatest company as far as sports apparel. Let's see, sports apparel, sports gear, uniforms, and specifically baseball equipment that there is. I personally know the owner of the company, and they do great, fantastic work. As you can tell by the awesome hat and really cool sweatshirt that I'm wearing, got to rep my boys and give them credit. So, if you couldn't tell from down here, am Easy D Derek Jaws, one of the main hosts of Hats, Tats, and Stats. You can catch us on, like I said, the BICBP Radio Network. And I'm pretty sure that is all the logistical things I needed to take care of first and foremost. Now, let's get into the sports. So, this past week, yours truly, the big dog, I'm going to start on myself because if I'm going to call out shot takes on other people, I got to call them out on myself too. So, earlier this week, really, it was last week's episode of Hats, Tats, and Stats. If you tuned into that, you know damn well that I put out a bold claim, as we call them, or a hot take, that the Jets would get off the schneid, find their first W of the season, and knock off the Seahawks. And boy, oh boy, was I not even close. That is the definition of a shot take, and I apologize for that. I saw the Jets playing teams pretty heads up the last couple weeks. I saw the Seahawks kind of faltering a bit, and I thought, you know what? I think there's a shot here, and that shot was gone on the first missed field goal of the Jets. In my defense, that would have been a one-possession game going into halftime had it not been for those missed field goals. However, I believe this just generally shows the ineptitude of the Jets' offense, and not to try to call the man out, but almost specifically Sam Darnold. A lot of love for you coming out of the draft there, big guy, and not a lot of love against one of the worst secondaries in the league. Now, that could be play design, that could be receivers not getting open, but to not even put up a touchdown against that defense when they have leaked like a dam with a crack in it all year long, I think that's pretty rough. And it threw my hot take into the shot take category real fast. And that is the last time I will ever trust the Jets for anything. Jets. Jets suck. At least this year. On the plus side, you're still in the running for Trevor Lawrence. Now, moving on to some more shot takes from the week. Going forward, this is not going to be football specific. It's just, and I wasn't going to do just football today. However, there was a very interesting commentary on the Monday night game last night, which I'm sure most of you guys watched, which was the Browns and the Ravens, and it was one for the ages. And if you can hear me typing, I'm pulling up some stats here because that's kind of what I want to talk about. It was one for the ages. It was a great game, 47-42. The Ravens pulled themselves back into playoff contention. Or stayed relevant in the playoff contention, I should say. And the Browns took a step further away from having to, needing more and more help every week to have a shot at the Steelers and the division title. I like this because it muddied the water for my Bills, makes their record look that much stronger. The Browns going to 10-3, keeping in touch with us. I want to be as close to the top and alone as possible. because there's still a shot that we get a kick at the can at the 1 seed should things work our way. Do I think they're going to? I don't know. I don't know if anybody's going to knock the Chiefs off. I don't know if any two teams are going to knock the Chiefs off down the stretch. And we do have a couple tough games down there. But the Ravens played the Browns, and Baker Mayfield had a decent day. 28 for 47, 343, 2 and 1. Obviously 343 yards, nothing to scoff at. Throw the ball 47 times. That's 28 completions. They took their shots. A lot of running. I believe they said there were nine rushing touchdowns, maybe 10 by the end of the game. And like Chubb had 2, Hunt had 1, Mayfield had 1. It was you look at these stats, and aside from the interception, the Browns had an offensively statistical great day. Then you go to the Ravens, and Lamar was 11 for 17 for 163 and 1, and then added 124 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Now, my shot take here is at the end of the game, they were ranting and raving about Lamar Jackson as a quarterback. Now, I'm not taking anything away from him coming out of the locker room after his bathroom break or whatever he had to do. And if anybody thinks that was anything other than an, oh crap, I have to crap break, I don't know what you're watching, but that's exactly what that his run in and run out were. And I think a mid-game crap break is funny as hell that it almost cost your team the game. However, it looked great when he came out, completed a few short passes. I don't know what the Browns were doing defensively, sitting back, letting Andrews catch these underneath routes and rumble for 12 to 15 yards a shot. But at the end of the game, they were ranting and raving about about Lamar Jackson and being back to form. And again, being back to form is 124 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground and less than 200 through the air. He didn't throw a pick this week. However, it is a shot take to me that that you're saying this guy is going to be one of the best in the league for a long time. You know why? Because that type of quarterback, those type of numbers don't last. I know that because when Josh Allen was doing similar things, that was the big knock on him, was that type of play doesn't travel for very long in the NFL. And again, I've said this time and time again, if you listen to us, Lamar Jackson is an elite athlete. He may be one of the best athletes in the NFL. He's not a good quarterback. If you look at now, yes, I understand that they had some drop problems yesterday. I believe Marquise Brown had 3 of his own. But if you look at the pass that gave them the touchdown, that took the lead initially in the last 2 minutes, that throw wasn't good. Marquise was wide open, and a bad throw almost brought head. First off, he had to stop, come back and catch it, and it almost got him caught. And that's one of those things where if the backside safety was in a little bit better position, that same throw may be picked. Again, it wasn't, so shoulda, woulda, coulda is what I'm not going there, but it is a shot take to me that Lamar Jackson is an elite or even good quarterback in the NFL. Is he going to win games? Yes. Is he going to win big games? I don't think so. The Ravens held the lead in that game, which is their MO. Get up in the game, get up early and say, catch me if you can. I think if the Browns get up in that game early, it's a blowout because they don't travel well when they're fighting from behind. So that is my second shot take of the day. And oh gosh, there was one more, and you know what? I'm blanking on it, but let me see if I can pull up some scores from the weekend real quick, and I can tell you if something tickles my fancy that I remember wanting to talk about. Oh, here we go. My last shot take of the day is that the NFC East is going to send 2 teams to the playoffs. It was cool to talk about it when you saw the the football team make a little push. And then you saw the Giants starting to play some better football. And you're like, oh, it would be really cool um, if the NFC East that we were all talking about found a way to send two teams. Now, in looking at this right now, the current NFL playoff picture, the AFC stops at 11 with the Broncos or the Patriots at 10 and the Broncos at 11. That to me, really, the Patriots are officially eliminated from the AFC East contention, so they would have to hope for the Raiders, the Ravens, and then really to catch the Dolphins, who are the 7th seed and the last team in the playoffs currently. I don't think they're catching the Colts at 9-4. So they would have to jump some people, and I think they're just in there because mathematically they're not eliminated yet. Same with the Broncos, who are even further out. They're not catching anybody. They're not catching the Chiefs. The Chiefs have clinched that division, so they're not mathematically out of it. And you have the same thing on the other side with the Lions and the Niners at 10 and 11, both at 5 and 8. They're both four seeds in their divisions. But then 12, 13, and 14 on the NFC side are the NFC East, and 5 and 8, 4, 8 and 1, 4 and 9. Nobody is out of that division race, but nobody else is besides the division winner is going to the playoffs there. I think the Cardinals are too good, and they can put they put the boots to the Giants this week. So it is very possible that so they're showing me the week 14 matchups, which means maybe the schedules or the standings aren't totally updated on NFL.com yet. However, there's no way that a second team from the NFC East is making it. You could definitely see right now there are 3 teams from the NFC West. That does not surprise me. It makes me happy to know that my team should be 4-0 against the NFC West. And that if we see the team that we lost to again on the other side, I have a good feeling about it. Especially the way my defense has been playing. Oh, and they go as far as tacking the Carolina Panthers on because apparently they're not mathematically out of it yet either in the South. And that is because they could catch the Bucks. And yeah, I don't believe they can catch the Saints. Let me see. Yeah, they cannot catch the Saints, but they could potentially jump some people if a lot of teams hit the schneid. So, shot take, the NFC East sends more than one team to the playoffs. In my opinion, depending upon how these next 3 weeks go, there should be a rule passed that if you're not at least 500 or if you're not at least a game under 500, you don't deserve a playoff game. I would rather see all 4 NFC West teams than a really bad NFC East team. Now, that being said, the football team has been playing very well. They have been playing some great defense, and that is keeping them in football games. Now, I haven't seen what happened to Alex Smith, whether or not he'll be back. I think that plays a big part because that defense isn't going to score points for you every week. They might stop the other team from doing so, but they're not going to do so themselves. And they have a tough matchup with the Seahawks coming this week. So wrapping up the inaugural episode of Shot Takes, I'm telling you the NFC East is sending one squad. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. And that is all I have got to say about that. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, this is Shot Takes exclusively on the SportsHosts app. You can look forward to this every Tuesday where I break down a few hot takes that are more shot than anything else every week in the world of sports. And if you guys want to check out Hats, Tats, and Stats, that is always along with a bunch of awesome other podcasts, including a bunch of other sports ones for you sports nuts out there, considering that's the demographic I'm speaking to. Check out www.bicbp-radio.com. Go to the sports tab or go to the podcast tab, click on the sports page, and you'll see everything that we have to offer on there. And if you guys are looking for team apparel, for a team you play on, coach, or are affiliated with, if you're looking for baseball equipment, if you're looking for a uniform for a particular sport, check out www.stengerwoodbats.com. I know it says Woodbats in the title, but they do all sports: football, baseball, hockey, basketball, volleyball, lacrosse. For those international folk out there, I'm sure they could even arrange something along the lines of international sports that aren't necessarily USA heavily played, but all their stuff is high quality gear for low quality prices. And I say low quality prices, meaning you're not going to break your bank to pay for something high quality just because it's got a Nike swoosh or Under Armour logo on it. So go check out the website, see if there's anything. If you're a baseball guy, softball girl, and you need a glove, they do custom glove work, and you can go ahead and tack on tip of the cap at purchase to give yourself 10% off. That is my personal rep code, and that'll give you 10% off your order on most things on the website. So thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, I am Easy D, Derek Jaws. This has been Shot Takes, part of Hats, Tats, and Stats. I'll see you next week.